Good morning from Wood County, Texas. This is going to be a short video, I hope. It's about reloading for the Smith & Wesson M&P 45. I wonder if you could tell me which two rounds on display here won't chamber in this pistol. Pistol won't go into battery. Now all of these rounds will work through my 1911s. They will work in my Smith & Wesson 625, along with a lot of others. But they will not work in this M&P 45. All of the other rounds will, except for two. Now, to make a long story short, this pistol has a very abrupt transition from chamber to rifling. If the bullet has any lead at all, any full caliber part of the bullet extending in front of the case rim, case mouth, the bullet will hit the lands in the barrel and the gun will not go into battery. So, although I've been using bullets seated a little long for years in 1911s, this Smith & Wesson is going to correct my bad habits. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Grab this pistol. This pistol is clear. There's no magazine. There's no round in the chamber. I'm going to break it down here. Yes, I know it has a little doohickey sear compressor so that you don't have to pull the trigger to disassemble it. But I'm an old dog and that's a new trick, so it's also kind of a pain. Drop this barrel out. Alright. 45 auto, it says. I don't know if you can even start to see down in the chamber on this thing. But the chamber to rifling transition is very abrupt. If I drop a case, empty case, into this barrel, it sets on that case mouth with a thunk. Drops right in there. And the hood extension here is proud of the base of the case. Now if I drop around in here, this is Freedom Munitions 230 grain ball. There you go. It's flush. And you can hear it thunk when it hits the ground. You can hear it thunk into the barrel, and it's resting on the case mouth. This is Freedom Munitions 200 grain ball. Same story. Black Hills plus speed jacketed hollow point, 230 grain. Thunk, sits right in there. Remington 185 grain hollow point. Thunk. Here's some reloads, 200 grain plated bullet. Thunk. Well, we're narrowing it down. This is a 200 grain lead semi-water cutter. Thunk. Still flush with the hood. 225 grain truncated cone. You notice that a full caliber section of the bullet is ahead of the case mouth. Now my 1911s have enough lead or free bore or cone or whatever you want to call it for that to function. This is actually my Kimber's favorite bullet and favorite seating depth. Shoots the most accurately. However, it is sitting well proud of that hood extension. That gun will not go into battery with that round. Also, you notice it kind of sticks because the lead is in the rifling. Semi-wad cutter, also 1911 favorite. It looks very much like the previous semi-wad cutter, except you'll notice it's seated just a little further out. Not much, but the gun will not go into battery. The case head is still sticking out past the hood extension. The gun won't function. So what do? I've got like 1,000 rounds of each of these. You certainly can't seat them deeper in the case because they've been taper crimped, and that would just skin the bullet. And the lead would roll up in front of the case mouth, and then they wouldn't chamber in anything. So what I'm going to have to do is keep my ammunition segregated until I correct my ways and start seating these things as they prefer. So now we're back. We've got our Lee seating die. We've got the crimp portion backed out. We're going to start seating this bullet. Lyman recommends an overall length for this bullet of 1.235. I think they said. Maybe I ought to look it up again. I'm getting old. There we go. Let's see. Lyman bullet 452630, 200 grain semi-wad cutter, 1.235 overall length, according to the Lyman Cast bullet handbook. So let's see how that works. We're going to start seating this bullet gradually. And maybe not that gradually. There we go. Sorry, I'm blocking your way. That's about where I was seating before. Let's see what our caliper says that overall length is. 1.275. So it's about 40 thousandths too long. Give her another crank down, that's still too long. 1.249. .237. Getting really close. Yeah, we went a little short. 1.232. Now for the real test, take the barrel, drop that round in. There you go. This fits nice and flush. It's still, like, even though it's slightly shorter than the Lyman book list, it's still touching those lands in there. And I've still got just a little bit of room to go. I don't want the case mouth standing out past the front shoulder of the bullet. Of course, this case isn't crimped yet. There was a good solid plunk. And the case turns in the chamber without dragging. Let's see what that overall length is. .226. So That's about 9 thousandths shorter than the book recommends. This particular case is 0.893. Standard length for 45 ACP cases, 0.895. This is a dummy cartridge, by the way. But that's what it's going to take to get it to feed reliably, go into battery. Well, it feeds just to get it to go into battery in the Smith & Wesson M&P. This is one of my favorite bullets, the 225 gain truncated cone. This particular bullet was made by Missouri Bullet Company. It's a pulled bullet from one of the ones that was too long, so it's a little banged up, but it's just for a dummy round. Let's back this stem back out a little bit so we don't overdo it, and see just how short we're going to have to get this thing to get it to go into battery in the Smith & Wesson. And we're still pushing. I don't have a recommended length for this particular bullet. That's a little shorter than I was seating it before. .232 overall length, but I don't think it's going to chamber. It's still got quite a bit of full caliber band showing ahead. No, it won't even seat down flush. So about another quarter turn on her. She's starting to have very little driving band showing. And we're at 1.214. I'm sorry, I think I read that wrong. 1.214. That's pretty short. See if it... No. That's still... The gun may go into battery, but that bullet is solidly in contact with the rifling. With about an eighth of a turn, see what we get. There's just the tiniest amount of full caliber left. It's still digging in the rifling. That is the most abrupt set of rifling lance I've ever seen. It's like they took a fully rifled barrel and just cut a chamber out of it without giving it any lead at all. And that may work fine for jacketed bullets, but we're still got just enough to crimp into. We're at 1.194. Thunk. We got it to thunk that time. And the bullet will spin without dragging on the rifling. And it's not sticky. There we go. That's what it's going to take. I'm going to call that 1.195. And I'll use that from now on. With this particular bullet, I'll use this dummy round to adjust the seating die, and this one for the wad cutters. But that's... I'm sorry about the shaking, guys. I'm getting old and shaky. So they look too short to me, but that's what it's going to take to run in the M&P. We'll take these out to the range and make sure they feed all right. But bye for now, and thanks for watching. Just a little teaser for a future video. Birdshot and buckshot for the .45 ACP revolver.